And whatever you do, don't let it fall into the wrong hands.
So even in terms of like what the goal is, what you can and can't do, like are there restrictions? Like can you?
There's no limit.
There's nothing that you
limits.
can't do. I mean,
Right.
you can attempt anything. It's just about whether you succeed or not.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, if you say I'm going to try and fly, I'm going to run off this cliff and throw myself out, you're just probably going to fall and die because you can't fly. But you can.
But then how?
You can try.
So when you say probably, who decides? Given that you can choose anything.
Well, I decide what kind of check it is, but then the dice decides how successful that check is. Like, if you try and, throwing yourself off the building doesn't really make sense, but if you try to climb a really tall tower that you wouldn't ordinarily be able to, like if the game expected you to go up the stairs inside the tower and fight everyone on every level along the way, and you decide to go outside and climb up 10 stories of demon tower, I would say that's an athletics check, probably multiple checks. I would say probably 3 athletics checks. And then if you roll 3 really good checks, you climb to the top, skip all the bad guys, and it's just you face to face with whoever's at the top there.
Okay. And what are checks? When you say checks, what's a check?
So a check is where you roll the d20, which is of those dice you've got there, it's the one with the most sides.
Yeah.
And then you add your athletics. So if you go to your phone and look at your character sheet, and you go to the sort of second one that had all the skills listed, like perception and investigation. One of those will say athletics, and then it'll have a little number beside it.
Okay, yeah.
So what's the number?
3, plus 3.
So you would add 3 to all those rolls as you were climbing the outside of this tower.
Okay.
And that would determine how successful you are. Now the number you would have to beat, let's say you rolled a 10 plus 3 is 13.
Yeah.
If in my head the predetermined difficulty was 12, and you got a 13, then you would succeed.
Okay.
And you wouldn't fall, you would just keep climbing.
Yeah.
And then the next check, same thing. So
okay,
on.
okay.
Yeah. So that's kind of the basis of the game.
So you need to have quite a deep knowledge of things.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
You guys don't need to have a deep knowledge.
Yeah.
I definitely do.
Okay, okay. Yeah.
But it gets more fun. The more you play, that's why I'm glad that we're trying to make this a fairly regular, on a like a bi-weekly basis type thing, because the more you get into it, not only do you get into like any video game, you get into the quest and you start getting excited about to see what's on the other side of the door, kind of thing, or see what happens next. It's also, when you, like I said, when you get your head around the rules enough for you to figure out what you want to do without it being something. Oh, can I do this?
Not continually asking questions. Yeah.
Which again, we are still doing to some extent. So don't worry about that. But
okay.
Should I pick out the
the ones that you have prepared.
Because I guess this is the one I have prepared are all of them, isn't it? The ones I have.
Yeah. So the sorcerer has access to way more than just the ones you've got prepared. But the way the sorcerer learns things is that they innately just wake up one morning and go, "Oh, I know a new thing." So
I could technically change these if I want.
It depends.
But not now. But say before we do next time, or something.
I think. Let me double check. Sorcerers, I think, are one of the few classes that can't do that.
Right.
What are you trying to change?
I don't
spells,
actually. Yeah, because I have like a list of the spells that I've chosen to do. But when I chose them and I made the character, I don't really know what's going to be.
Exactly the same here.
I have a jump ability that I've never used. But it's probably at some point for me to be able to jump crazy high. Really good. So I like that. I like my skills. I just
that's it.
Really ever go for firebolt.
There is an overwhelming number of kind of skills and things to choose from. That's what's creating the character.
Yes.
And without knowing what regular things to come up, or it's just
it's almost impossible because it's so much up to the situation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sorcerers do not prepare spells. You have a smaller list of available spells compared to like a wizard or a cleric, but in exchange you can readily cast any of them whenever you like. They're always prepared, rather than writing them down in a spell book and then trying to memorize them every morning and swap them out. You don't do the swap out. You just know them and wait till you learn the next one.
And that I do when I reach level 5, for example. I get to pick more, right?
You get to pick more, And cool. As you level up, you also get more slots, more spell slots, which are those little tiny circles.
The circles there, But the cantrips, which is lowest level of spells.
Yeah, they don't consume any slots, and you can cast them as many times as you want.
Just double checking before we get going. Let's see. I have a charm person skill. I like that one.
Nice.
Disguise self. These are nice, these cards.
Yeah.
They're good quality.
I'm very pleased with them.
I don't know why I'm so excited about that.
Well, cards are great. Okay, let's do a quick recap of where you guys were at. You'd just been given a tour of Many Things Incorporated.
Mm-hmm.
You'd chosen to take the audition given to you by Jasmine, the CEO, and you had successfully dispatched a tentacled starfish made of fleshy clockwork. And
by throwing it down the pit.
Yeah, by throwing a patch from your robe of useful items that then became a pit. So it's like an item that has items on it.
Okay.
And so, like a Swiss Army knife, when you need a certain thing, you take the patch off and it becomes that thing.
Okay.
And so they made great use of the pit to try to outmaneuver this weird clockwork organic creature.
It was great.
Then you were inducted into, well, you're in the process of being inducted into the One-Eyed Jacks, which is the sort of retrieval employees of this corporation that go out and retrieve creatures or objects to be made into cards that then get put into decks of Many Things and get sent out into the multiverse. So you're part of this sort of production line. And you've heard rumors that it pays well, but you don't know yet because you're at the window speaking to one of the Intients who has introduced themselves as, I think, Zane? Is that who I called them? I can't remember the name I gave them, but it was something like that. Yeah. Let's say Zane.
Yeah.
And in parentheses, Billy Zane. Although they look identical to every other Intient you've come across.
What's an Intient?
An Intient is a race of beings that they've been introduced to. For as long as they can remember, they have, what's the word? Done business in this way, sort of harvesting items and creatures and distributing them out into the world to sort of maintain balance in the universe is what they call it. They've been doing it for so long they can't remember how it began or how long they've been doing it for. And they live in this sort of like these series of floating pieces of land in this black swirling void, just these floating bits of land. And there's these big metal buildings on each of the floating pieces. And the party does not know much about them aside from that. Okay. They have slightly pointier features. They look vaguely humanoid, but yeah, they seem like a bit weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much of all this are you making up, and how much of it is dictated by a thing behind there? I don't.
Well, the story part of it, I'm making up all of it.
Right. Okay.
I'm taking pieces of the story from things that exist in the D&D world, but I'm not like playing a pre-made story that I purchased.
Yeah.
I did talk about doing that with you guys at a later date, but that's not what we're doing at the moment.
Okay.
And if I'm doing it right, you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between the two. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And we'll get to Sean's character in a bit, but at the moment, you guys are at the window speaking to Zane, and he says, "Hello, welcome to the One-Eyed Jacks. Are you new?"
Indeed.
Oh, you are. I am Zane, an arcane intelligence. How can I help you today?
We want some money.
Oh, well, you need to retrieve something. What would you like to retrieve?
Well, do you have a list of things? What can we choose from?
Well,
how does this work? We're new.
The way this works is, as an arcane intelligence, I have insight into your skills, your abilities, your level of progression. And then you see his eyes kind of like flicker through a series of different colors, like yellow, green, orange. And then he just keeps flickering as he looks to each of you and he says, accomplished. I think this card would be the appropriate one for you. And the card appears under his hand as he slides it towards you. Do you look at it?
Yeah. Yes. I'll grab it. Yes.
You pick it up and it says, it's empty. All these cards that you've drawn from the deck of Many Things before have been, a picture of a thing, and then it's got the name of it written at the bottom. But this just has the name written at the bottom. And it says, star. And it's got a big blankness. Now, we have a lead on where you might retrieve this piece of star, but you'll need to go into the transportation chamber on the left for your full briefing. I'll give you a partial one. Basically, the fragment of star is contained within a cave system. The cave system is populated by some less than savory characters at the moment. we would like you to retrieve this star and use this card to capture it and bring it back to us.
How does that work exactly? Do you just like throw the card at it?
That will be explained to you in the briefing room. But you basically activate the card when you feel that the creature or object is in a sufficiently vulnerable state. And then it is captured within the card if you've sufficiently weakened it.
We kick it. We kick the star, bro.
Kicking is one of your options, yes.
Cool.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, how does it work? How much money do we get if we come back with the star in this card?
This star, and then you see his eyes flicker through different colours, is worth 5,000 gold pieces.
Right, I'm going to try and persuade him. I'll say, how about, let's make it 7.
Okay, roll a persuasion check.
Natural 20.
Holy moly. And he says, let me run my scan again. And he quickly goes, different colours flickering through his eyes, and he looks at both of you. And he says, you're right. This mission will be a challenge for you. 7,000 seems appropriate.
Neat. Nice. Good job, man.
Do you have any other questions?
Can we get like a receipt or anything for this?
You see him do what he approximates to be a chuckle. The card is enough. That will get you back in here.
Sweet. Thank you, Zane. I'll put my hand up to do a high five.
He goes like this. He raises his hand and stiffly sort of moves his whole hand towards you. Excellent. And it feels surprisingly tangible, like for an arcane intelligence, whatever that means. It had like tangibleness to it.
Nice.
Quick pause while I check the printer.
I'm a fan of Zane. Actually, also, I don't want it to be a surprise. I want to listen to this bit of music that you've composed. We have fight music now, because we were joking about this last time. We wanted boss music when we were fighting. Okay. So he's put together then.
Before we continue, Sam.
Sweet.
Yeah. You remember last time you spoke about that wall shape bit? And that increases with each level, so now...
Is this your new sheet?
Yeah.
Cool.
Here you have like persuasion and insight and all these kind of stuff. Often if you want to do a thing and Sam says, oh, roll a whatever check, then it's like one of these.
Okay.
And then you'll get like your pluses there to like the 20.
Okay.
The D20 that you roll.
And stuff like that will increase as your stats increase. So you get better, your spells. So like for example on the Firebolt one, I think it says somewhere down here. Oh yeah, so this spell's damage increases by 1d20 when you reach 5th level. So you do double damage basically. I roll 1d10, which is that one, for damage now. But if I level up again, I can suddenly do double damage with my spell. Okay. So leveling up is quite a big deal. You don't do it often, but it means quite a lot when you do it.
Cool.
It's quite fun.
Nice. Did you find a page on wild shape?
It's like 6 levels. Well, here it says on the
half. Let's check out this list of wild shape options. Click that green thing, and then you'll see. So that's a 0 challenge rating.
Yeah.
You can probably refine them if you look through like. Show me
filter,
and that'll show you a certain challenge rating. Is that
right?
Oh yeah, those. You guys can choose like a little thing to represent you to make it easier to see when there's a map.
That's me. It's me, bro.
Yeah, you're a little guy. Although we've got 2 little guys.
Have you painted them?
No, they came like this. I think one of them is unpainted.
Oh man, this reminds me so much of Warhammer.
I said, did you ever play Warhammer as well? I never played that.
I used to play it, and I used to I loved painting them. I was fucking sucked at it. Like, I'm gonna make this one purple. I don't know. If you guys can pick one.
Okay, so you actually let's choose which one you guys want to be.
Alright.
It doesn't have to be the physical stature that matches. It could be
I feel like
the sort of occupation that the person seems to have.
That looks like a druid.
Yeah, it does.
I'm a druid too. She looks quite druidy.
Nice.
But does it matter that I'm a lady?
Yeah, well, the little what's the thing? The little
could be a
man. Doesn't matter.
Child, yeah.
It's just to sort of keep track of where we are when we're back, because we used to have little weird tokens. Okay, I'll put these on the back.
It differentiates between you guys and
bad guys.
But you're missing one. Who's the little one over there. Cool. Awesome. All right. So you walk away from the window where you were just speaking to Zane, and then you see. Describe your character for me, Sean. Like, what do they look like physically?
Physically, my character is, well, as a half-orc, obviously, it has kind of a human face with kind of bulbousy kind of scaly kind of greeny skin, but only kind of half, not full orc, and
maybe some like tusks, little tiny ones.
Yeah, kind of like half-formed kind of tusks, and has a long black ponytail.
Nice.
Yeah.
Specific.
Much like a samurai might have.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you're wearing probably like leather armor, I would say.
Yeah, it's a leather armor.
Okay,
Yeah.
Awesome. So you see, as you turn away from the window, you see this huge, towering, like half-orc in leather armor with this anxious look on their face, kind of like looking around fervently, looking for something, and sort of like wringing their hands in concern. And you think, this is weird. All the other adventuring parties that were in the queue for Zane's window have dispersed, except for this character. And that's you. And at the moment, you're looking for someone to, as we know, help you with this card, this, assignment you've been given. You feel you've taken on more than you can chew, basically, and you're looking for someone to help you with it.
Okay.
So that's what you see. You also see beyond this worried character is a doorway that you didn't notice before, because you just walked down the opposite end of the room previously when you were just sort of going for your audition. And the doorway presumably leads to where Zane was pointing, to the briefing room, transportation chamber, whatever. Where would you like to go? What would you like to do?
Should we investigate that lonely-looking orc?
Well, I feel like
Or we just ignore him and we just dash?
I'm a thief and a scoundrel.
Yeah, we got 7 grand on our...
Yeah, I don't really want to
Okay.
split that with someone else, though.
No. Sorry, yeah, mate.
End of my turn.
You see that they are walking towards the briefing room, sort of like avoiding your gaze. And
Look down, man.
something inside you sort of snaps, and you find yourself like charging over to them and like picking up one of them, the littler one. Actually, they're both little. You pick up one in each hand in sort of like an imploring stance, like, you guys, you look capable. Can you help me? You see a half-orc run over to you and pick you up bodily with a worried look on their face. What do you do?
Capable of what?
I say, unhand me,
Beast.
mister.
And what do you do?
I tell them that I have a debt, and that I'm concerned for my own life, and that I need help.
Okay,
You want money?
make a persuasion check.
Make a persuasion check. So what do I do?
The D20.
The 20?
That
Yes,
looks right. Yeah.
That's the one you're going to roll most of the time.
And then persuasion is on the left-hand side.
Okay, 16 plus 1.
Oh, 17. Okay. You feel the emotion in this half-orc's voice get through to you on some level, and you feel as though he's not asking for money, he's asking for you to help him get money. And you feel that he's in a dire situation.
I'll bit his arm and shout, "Unhand me, beast!"
Okay, roll a bite attack, which I'll say is just like your strength modifier, whatever strength is.
Strength is -1.
Okay, so we'll see how well
Which
this
one
works.
is?
It's the many-sided one.
Which one?
The most sided.
Oh, the...
Nope. That one, yeah. Okay, 5 plus minus whatever.
4.
You feel a light pressure on your upper forearm as tiny teeth compress the leather armor, and you are a little confused as to what's going on. But you get the sense he may have coughed on you. Yeah.
Sneeze.
And you feel your teeth kind of a little bit unpleasant against the hard surface of the leather.
What did he taste like? I asked her.
Like a camel.
Camel, could be camel leather. It's very possible.
Yeah.
He looks like a well-traveled half-orc. Okay, I'm narrating the bits where I feel like your desperation is sort of causing you to act impulsively.
Mm-hmm.
So you feel that this rush of anxiety recedes a little bit, and you come back to yourself a little bit more, and you decide to put them down and realize how did I pick them up in the first place? You know, when people just see red and act and then come back to consciousness, and you start to feel more normal again.
Okay.
And you feel the half-orc put you down and sort of compose themselves a little bit. What do you do?
What do you need? What's going on? Who are you?
How much money do you need, dude?
It's probably too much for the task you've been given, or that I've been given, but I'd like to find companions to help me find more money more regularly.
Just generally. How much do you owe?
I don't know how much luck is in this game.
I will say you feel embarrassed by it. So make a persuasion check.
Okay.
That will be my persuasion is quite high though. I rolled an 8. Persuasion 13.
13. You are too embarrassed to discuss it, so you'll have to find a different way of explaining that.
Okay. I can't tell you how much, but I can tell you that my life is in imminent danger.
You remember that you have the card that Zane had given you during your allocation, as it were, and you think to yourself that maybe if you show the card, you will make your case clearer. Okay, yeah. I have a card.
Ooh.
I have a card.
What was it for?
On the card, it's blank, just like yours, except for the word flames.
What flames? Any flames? I can throw a fireball at it.
You remember that your briefing with Zane described that the flame. Sorry.
No. That's just
the flame card is. It requires you to capture a devil, and capture them in the card, and it's one of the more challenging cards that you could be given. Make an insight check, both of you guys.
15.
15?
Insight is +1, 11.
Okay. You both get the sense, and I don't use the phrase very lightly, but you get the sense that it's a very metal card to have.
Right, okay, well. How about you come along with us to get our card sorted, and then we come and help you with yours. And if they are in the same place, that would be neat.
But we're not sharing the money, no?
No, I mean, we get the money for our card, you get the money for your card, and we sort of,
Okay.
You look like a capable, strapping young feller.
Okay.
I'm sure you can be useful if we get into a pickle.
That would be.
Can you turn into a bear? You're druid, right?
Yes.
Because he can turn into a bear. This is proven to be quite useful because I can't fight.
It's proven to be quite useful. Nice. What were you going to say?
Do I, with the bear, is that something I would have chosen?
No, it's wild shape is one of your innate class abilities.
Right.
And that gives you the ability to transform into any animal up to a certain challenge rating that Aranas has just been looking through. Okay. Could you send that link on the on the WhatsApp chat, and then I can send it to Sean.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. We have a.
Let's proceed to
alliance.
Let's proceed to the briefing thing, and then we can figure out. I don't really know where to find this devil flame. Do you know where you find your devil flame?
You've been told by Zane that you need to get the details in the briefing room.
Yeah, similar. Cool. I'm going to get briefed.
Then we can figure out the deeds later then.
Yeah.
But then we can...
Yeah. 3 heads are better than 2.
Indeed.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so you head towards the briefing room. I presume that you head towards the briefing room.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You go inside and you see a dimly lit room with a huge crystal ball in the center, like the size of a beach ball, if you knew what a beach ball was, which you don't. And you see another Intient sort of standing in the shadows that comes forward and says, "Oh, hello. My name's Jesse. Everybody roll an insight check."
4.
9, right? Oh. 6.
Plus insight.
10.
8.
8. Okay. 8 in total. And yours is 10?
10, yeah.
Okay. Milksteak and Asker get the sense that this is an Intient that looks like all the other ones, and you don't really get the sense that it's very... They all look the same and sound the same to you in this moment, but what's your character's name again?
Smorgasbord and Silius.
Smorgasbord. Smorgasborden?
Yeah.
Okay. Smorgasborden, you get the sense that this Intient, of the few you've encountered, has a more like surfer dude vibe than the rest of them.
Okay.
Yeah. Something about the inflection in what he said.
Chill guy.
You don't know, maybe it's his posture.
Yeah.
He seems kind of a bit crunchier than everyone else.
Okay.
Cool. And he says, "Welcome to the briefing room. Can I see your cards, please?" Okay. And he takes the cards from you and he looks and he says, "You together on this errand? Do you intend to operate as a group to achieve these?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Do you call yourselves anything? For my records, do I...
The bumblebees.
The bumblebees, okay. Let
I
me
just
put
made
that
an
in my
executive
records.
decision.
You see... you see him write, like, with nothing on his arm, and nothing that you can see, and you wonder what he's writing on and why he's doing that. Okay, so bumblebees. These two cards, well, one is an object, one is a creature. These are going to be tricky to find in the same place, so give me one moment. And then he walks over to the crystal ball in the center, and he starts going like this. And from the corner of your eye, you notice all these, like, locations just keep, like, scrolling past. Like, one's a cave, one's a big tree, one's underground, one's in a castle. And you wonder what he's doing, because he's not talking, but he's just staring and looking at the cards and flicking through these different crystal ball locations.
So
Time passes.
do we have turns, or do you just
No,
go
you
random?
you only have
just
turns
in fights.
in
Okay,
combat. If you're
right.
fighting something, there's turns, but otherwise you can say whatever you want.
Okay.
And do feel free to just say and do shit. You don't have to consult like I just did with the bumblebees because it's more fun. Because that's what people do in real life, right?
It's the first group I've had that... I've had so many groups, like 6.
Yeah.
And this is the first one that's actually managed to name themselves. So I'm very impressed. Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, so at the moment you guys are just waiting. You can do whatever you want.
Are there any chairs in this room?
No.
So we can ask you questions about the situation, about the environment.
You can ask me questions about the situation and the environment. You can also ask characters in the world questions that you feel are relevant.
Okay.
I'm going to walk up and stand right next to this Jesse fella and just sort of... Because he's got his back turned, right? Looking at this stuff.
Yeah, he's back turned to you, but you can see what he's looking at because the ball is so big.
And he's quite tall, I guess, yeah?
They're all kind of average height, maybe above average height.
So
taller than you guys, yeah.
Yeah, so could I try to climb him on his shoulders and just look at the locations?
You can certainly try. 3. Okay. You manage to walk over to him, and then you manage to like almost grip the robe, but then the robe kind of like slips out of your hands as if it's made of soap, and you're not sure whether it's your clumsiness or his robe is somehow enchanted, but you don't get a good grip. And then he turns to you and says, "Please, I'm concentrating. There are many different permutations of this universe that we need to find." And then he goes like this.
I guess we should leave him to it. Just do it.
Okay, so I found a possible candidate. Of all the universes in the multiverse, this is the only one where these two object and creature are nearby each other. Okay? They're within a cave system. It's a very unusual set of circumstances that have led them to be together, so you don't have a backup universe if you guys screw this one up. Okay?
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Can we visit multiple multiverses?
Well, the way it usually works is that multiple multiverses? No, there's just one multiverse. But you can visit multiple universes. If, for example, you go to one and fail, you can come back and we can send you to another one in which that object or creature still exists, or exists in a way that you can now access them.
Can I ask if it would be, given the location of both of them and how dangerous that might be, the cave system, would it be more dangerous to do the one location or to find 2 locations and take a little bit longer.
The danger isn't changed by their proximity to each other. Right. It will be challenging either way.
Okay.
Cool.
He
so
says,
how does this work then?
So what you do is you all put your hands or anything that makes you touch the crystal ball, and then I send you as close as I can to that location. You all need to concentrate on that location while you're holding onto it to make sure you don't end up too far away from it.
Cool.
And then you'll appear there.
And then when we find...
Dude.
And then when we find our stuff, how do we get it into the card?
Well, what you do is, when you feel the creature or object is sufficiently vulnerable, accessible, you hold the card out and activate it, much as you would any magical item, which is just using your will, basically.
Right, okay.
The activating it is not the tricky part. The tricky part is judging whether or not that creature is weak enough to be captured at that time.
I see.
Okay.
I think we're gonna need assistance from our newly acquired orc to lift us up and hold us by the next to the ball, so you can touch the magic ball.
Well, it's quite big. It's on a pedestal about your height, so if you
can
touch,
reach it.
you reach above your heads to touch it. Yeah. Cool. All right. So you all touch it. You all touch it. Now everybody roll a Constitution check for me. So instead of using one of your tiny bits of little writing, you're going to use one of the big skills, which...
Constitution here, +0.
There, +0.
+0, yeah. So I rolled 2.
2, okay.
I rolled 18, but I have minus.
Oh no, that's not saving. It's the one, the big square on the left. Yeah,
oh, right.
+0.
But 18.
Okay, cool.
20.
20, okay, cool. Oof. All right, so you feel blackness encompass your vision, and you feel yourself pulled by the stomach in a way towards the sort of endless void, and then that moment stretches on for a little while, and then you all appear but in different locations. So where's my dice?
You have a pouch too. I have a pouch.
Okay. So, you rolled the 18, right? You appear in a sort of grassy field, and to your left you see a big dark forest, and to your right you see a cave entrance with this sort of sticky tar substance sort of leading out from that entrance. Above the forest on your left is like a plume of smoke rising into the sky that seems like it was from quite a big fire. You rolled 20. Mm-hmm. You arrive 10 feet to the right of him, even closer to that cave entrance, and you see the same thing that I just described.
Yeah.
Milksteak, when he comes back...
I'm just going to leave the phone there.
When he comes back, he will find himself in a location.
What is it? I'm going to leave my phone there.
So that it gets reception.
When I know I've made a cock up, I now know what to do. Just clap.
What quest are you making?
I'm doing a kind of non-league football one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I'll turn them off so I can hear the phone.
Yeah, that's a great idea, actually.
Cool. All right, I'm just going to grab this map.
So, did we know where we were going? I just realized. Am I going to the forest or to the cave?
A cave. It's a cave system.
That's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm like next to a cave or a forest. Like, wait, which one?
You, Milksteak, appear in a river. And you see on your left is a really dark forest and a plume of smoke sort of rising above it. And to your right, you see distantly what looks like Asker and Smorgasborden. And you are in the middle of a river being pulled downriver towards presumably the south. What would you like to do?
I would like to transform into a fish.
Okay, please with the wild shape.
With the wild shape.
Okay,
yeah. And start dashing against the stream.
Okay, it's only about 30 feet wide.
That's fine. I wanna make an impression.
So you're trying to go towards which direction?
Towards the. I see.
Your compadres. Okay, you get there within a matter of seconds. You're now against. Do you untransform? I assume.
No, I jump on off the water
and then
just like
flap about helplessly on land. Okay, you're currently flapping about helplessly on land. Do you untransform?
Yes.
Okay, you untransform.
after the entrance.
Okay, nice. You see about 50 feet to your left, a tiny fish goes and just lands out of the water onto the bank. And then it becomes a halfling that looks like Milksteak, and you think, oh, that's where he is.
That's I'm not surprised.
Nice.
You know, that's
That's
my
how
boy.
I roll.
You dust yourself off, mark off one of your wild shapes, and you
I
find
was going to say,
yourself...
can you do that a limited number of times?
Yes.
Wild shape, I think, is twice per short rest, according to that sheet.
Yes.
So he just wasted
Yes.
one for show.
But I mean, it is both amusing and potentially practical. Like, if that river was about to have piranhas or go over a waterfall, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Right.
Cool.
Well,
So you're in the middle of a field.
Where do I see him?
Yeah, he's about 10 feet to the right of you.
Oh, right. Okay, cool. So I'll just
roll
hello. I'll just
You'll just wave.
to Arunas. Oh,
Okay.
sorry, to Milksteak.
You see Milksteak, you see Asker waving about 50 feet to the east of you. To the right, let's say.
And I'll wave at him back.
Nice. You guys wave for a few minutes.
And then okay, so then I turn to this cave thing, and so how close is this tar thing coming out? How far is it coming out?
It comes out a good 100 feet. So you're kind
then
of standing
gather-
basically on it, but
Is it flowing out?
it's not actively flowing tar. It looks like tar once flowed across this ground.
Okay.
Well, maybe not flowed, but tar once coated this piece of grass from the entrance to the cave to roughly where you are and towards the river. But
Right.
it's long since the source of it is gone, but the damage to the grass is still there.
I see. Okay.
So druid is I shed a tear.
You shed a tear
So druid.
because of the damage to the environment.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I-
I console you because I'm also a druid.
Come on, the druids, there should be more
Yeah,
tears
yeah,
from the
yeah,
druids.
yeah.
There's not been enough.
No! Greta!
So it's do I think it's safe to walk on? Does it look like it's?
You could make a nature check. Being the sorcerer, you feel quite in touch with nature.
It's a 7.
7. Okay, with the 7, you would say smells like tar, feels like tar,
Looks like tar.
must be tar.
All right, you lot.
Is it safe to walk?
Is it safe to walk on this? You guys are druids. You should know nature stuff.
I mean, wouldn't be really safe to walk on a tar unless.
But if it leads,
It's like tar residue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good, bro. You go first.
you don't know that. Can you make a nature
Make a
check?
nature check, it'll be funny. You make one as well, just for fun.
I'm going to make a nature check too.
Oh, but what's your nature?
But what's your nature skill?
+3, 6.
6, and then you.
How much is mine? +3, so 7.
Okay, you don't know anything about it other than the fact that it's tar residue. You don't know whether that's dangerous.
I'm going to take the initiative, and given that I'm much larger, I'm just going to try and push my hand onto it to see if it takes my weight.
Okay.
And if it does, then it'll obviously
Why not your foot?
Because he's an orc, he thinks with his hands. Oh, we lost your headphones then. Okay, you push down on it, it feels like grass, feels like earth beneath it. It's a little sticky, but you don't
Not hot.
feel anything unusual.
Okay.
Maybe it's flammable. Let's back up and I'll just shoot a fireball just to make sure, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Alright, so when everyone's
Shoot a
backed up, I shoot a fireball at the...
Okay, you shoot a firebolt and it starts to smolder and then a little fire gathers and it starts to catch. But it seems like a modest campfire rather than like a roaring inferno.
Right, so it's not like...
Yeah,
And
no.
it's not spreading like with the
It's-
other tar.
It's kind of fitfully spreading in little pieces and then it dies in one place and it keeps going in another. You get the sense that the tar has improved the flammability somewhat, but it hasn't created... It's not petrol.
Okay, cool.
And is the tar the only way in? Can you walk alongside the tar and get in around the tar? Do you have to go on the tar?
It encompasses... Oh, what's the word? It coats the entire width of the entrance to the cave.
Okay.
Thanks, man.
What? Well, it's coming out all the way. I mean, I didn't burn the entrance.
You can
It's
probably
not just
stomp
by the
out the flames with some concerted effort.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So let's put out the flames.
Yeah, let's walk in. It's presumably looking very dark in the cave, right?
It is.
So I'll do a little fireball on a torch.
Okay, you want a torch.
And then I'll Leroy myself in there.
Okay, you head in. You see an old wooden door lying in pieces around about 10 feet into the cave tunnel entrance. It's just like someone presumably has burst through it or out of it. You're not sure, but the remains of an old door are on the ground.
Right. And there's presumably a frame somewhere around them as well. Like around the.
Yeah, there's like a door jam in a way.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you do some sense magic? You can you? Is that like an innate skill you have? Sense.
Yeah,
detect
sense magic.
or whatever.
Yeah. I'll cast detect magic.
Okay.
Just to see if there's something.
1 out of 4 my slots is out, and we'll continue towards the door slowly, checking for traps.
What was your question, Sean?
How do you find what stuff you've got?
Should be
Stuff being
spells,
physical
yeah.
stuff or spells?
Like
or
spells and things.
There's a spell
Just
page.
Another page.
That one.
Yeah, that's the spell
Yeah.
page.
Okay.
But the stuff you actually have prepared should be. Actually, you can choose now, I suppose.
The druids have all the spells prepared.
No, they don't have all the spells prepared. They know all of them.
Oh.
But they have to choose each day when they wake up which one, for example, which 4, 5, 6 of them they're going to be able to use that day. It's like memorizing.
Okay.
It's the thing that Yuka doesn't have to worry about.
Okay.
If you look on your phone, you'll see probably which ones are prepared, and then you can fill in these circles to remind you of which ones they are. So keep scrolling to the right. Keep going. There, stop.
Okay.
So then if you highlight Control Frame, Thundercat, Beastbound, if you just highlight those seem to be the ones you've chosen,
Okay.
and they'll be prepared, but tomorrow when you wake up, you can choose different ones.
Okay.
So I haven't prepared my spells because I was thinking the druids have access
you wanna
to
pen or
everything.
Thanks.
Let's just hold it.
So I remember Flame Blade was nice. Lovely. Was
Had a nice
lovely.
creamy finish.
Beast Bond.
A moonbeam.
I'm a big fan of
So
cream.
you're checking them off, yeah?
Yeah. How many spells? 4 or 6?
4. I've got. I don't know.
It was 6, was it?
I've got 5.
You can prepare as many spells as you have slots.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, cool.
If not, I'm going to decree that that's doable for the time being. That pen works when you hold it at the right angle, so we'll see. Okay, cool. So you realize as you post burst through the door that you have forgotten to prepare some of your spells. So the 2 druids stand there sort of muttering incantations and gesturing their hands. And you're in a dark, illuminated out to about 15 feet of bright light, and then another 10 feet beyond that of dim light.
We're like the worst bunch of adventurers ever.
2 druids that grew up in a city, looking at the tower.
Your detect magic indicates nothing strong, but like a faint indication from the tar below you. Not that the tar itself is magical, but that it probably comes from a magical origin, like a magical plane or a magical pond or a beast or a person or whatever it was.
A monster.
Do we
It's
know
like
of some sort of monster of sorts that leaks tar of some sort?
Make a history check.
Skibash. God damn it! Why am I rolling
Should I do a nature check
history?
after
So that's
that
a
as
10.
well?
Sure, 10.
Shall I do the same? Shall I check?
Go for it.
I think so.
Yeah, we
Like,
all.
It's good practice for you.
No.
14 plus 3, 17 nature. Is there any beast can diarrhea tar?
Okay, and what was Sean's?
9.
9 plus your nature? Or you could use history or nature, it's up to you.
Plus 3 nature.
Okay, so 12 presumably?
Yeah.
Okay, so 12, 17, 10. Okay, from history, you would think that tar has association with the 9 hells. From your reading, that's one of the places in which tar is prevalent. You don't know which specific creature, but you imagine that the creature possibly came from the 9 hells. You, with 17, would know that from your innate understanding of nature and your learnings at the foot or roots of the grandfather tree, that it would take a more senior devil, or more like quite a powerful one, to create this kind of residue.
Should we go back?
Yeah, you scared a cat?
But with your 17, you also would notice that this tar residue is quite old. It's probably many months old.
Right. So we're definitely going to have to fight a devil, right? Because that's A, what you're looking for, and B, all this tar and all that shit.
Yeah.
So, okay. Does anyone know how to fight a devil? Do we know like what weaknesses?
The bumblebees turn to themselves and ask, "Does anyone know how to fight a devil?"
I'm gonna roll. Should I roll again? Just
what?
What do I know about devil? Like, for example, will my firebolt be totally useless? Is that something I would know?
An Arcana check for me, please.
God damn it! 7 plus 4, 11.
Okay, with an 11, you would suspect, you don't know for sure, but you would suspect that creatures that dwell within a fiery realm might be resistant to fire, but you're not sure if that's all of them or how much that resistance will help them. But it's something you think, it tickles the back of your memory. Maybe that's a relevant piece of information.
Cool. Right, well, it might be good, because if we walk around and suddenly, the devil appears, and then boss music, then I just feel like we should probably try to have a plan.
Yeah.
Plans have worked all right. When we fought like baddies in the past, because we ran in and we started fighting, and they oh shit, and we just ran away, rested, and came back with a plan. Using illusions and schemes. Kind of helped out a bit. At least to start out with, and after a while, it's literally just the rolls.
And then it'll take a good while to know like what is a good thing to ask and what is a silly thing to ask and what is a meaningful thing to ask and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course. Then I think like stuff like understanding the rules of your class. Like, I mean, again, this is now the 4th session with milk steak, as it were.
Yeah.
And my 5th session with this character.
Right. Okay.
And I still don't understand how, we were still discussing how the spell stuff work.
Yeah. So I don't. So the things I chose. So I've got like here, weapon attacks and cantrip. I don't know what a cantrip is.
It means you can do it as many times as you like, anytime you want.
Oh, okay.
So it's kind of like a level 0 spell.
So produce flame.
Yeah.
Oh, you chose that as well, didn't you?
No, I have firebolt, which is, I guess, slightly different.
I've got unarmed strike.
That just means punching someone.
Okay. Standard actions. That's all just normal stuff, I guess, like wild shape.
The wild shape is good because if you guys can transform into stuff that somehow can effectively injure the devil guy, the demon feller. That would be good. Aruna's got his cape, which is good.
A robe of useful items.
Which is basically an item he got last session. So
right.
We found some loot sort of at the end of our last session.
Yeah.
I found a book, which I guess I didn't spend time reading, but let's pretend I did. Do we?
Yeah, we can handle that later.
Yeah. So it basically gave me 1 extra core stat.
Okay.
Which is quite a big deal
because
that affects, like, deception is based on my charisma, and I have 17 in charisma now because I've added 1 when I leveled up and 1 when I read this book kind of thing. And then Aruna's found a robe or cape with symbols on it, and then these different symbols do different things. He basically grabs the symbol and throw it, and then this thing happens. So he's got he can produce a ship or a boat out of nowhere, or like when we were fighting last time, you threw it on the ground and create like a pit that this monster fell down in.
And is that specific, or can you just say anything you want?
No, there's a specific set.
The items are they're chosen from a limited number, and based on what you roll,
kind of randomized.
That's what the patches contain.
Actually, what do you still have left on your cape of useful stuff?
I got a silver coffer, 2 iron doors, 1 riding horse, a single rowboat, a single window, and 2 portable rams.
Oh yeah, we agreed that these are not the animals.
I heard that I was listening to
Is that what
We went through
like some of the rams?
we went through the semantics of it. It was very enjoyable.
I'm a little bit because 2 rams would have been cool, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Like, I mean, if you had a ram, like a male sheep, they could arguably do some ramming for you.
Yeah, exactly.
But arguably not as effective ramming as an actual ram.
No, you're right.
But they're
It's a
also
portable
cuter.
ram.
Yeah, you know the ones that like the police use to break into the crack den? Those ones.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so it's on its way. I'll go grab it when it arrives.
Thank you.
Cool. So
Don't forget the Monzo.
Yeah, I did. Did you guys get the Monzo
Yeah,
thing?
I'll read the transfer.
It's weird. I think you're the only Sean in my phone, so
Me.
it's weird to just see the word Sean and be like, I didn't add any other words. Sean from
Sean who?
so and so.
Sean what?
Yeah.
Let me just do this
Sean
now.
Smorgasbord.
Smorgasborden.
Yeah. Okay. So you're in a well lit because of your torch corridor. You see that the tar residue on the ground of this cave tunnel is kind of still very much there, and it leads off to the left as the tunnel curves.
Well, yeah, let's just proceed.
Yeah,
Troop run
let's
through.
Did we want to find out more about devils? Like, do we know
Oh yeah, can you,
if devils only dwell kind of like in the depths, or do they surface?
You can make a history check, please. Sorry, what was your statement?
Yeah, no, that's a good plan. Let's try to figure out what we know about. No, a one.
A 1. Okay, roll your d20 again, and we'll see
Roll
what
the same
happens.
again. Because when you roll a 1, that's like proper
It's like a critical fail.
critical
basically.
fail.
Oh, right.
So then something dumb happens.
Just roll it again, and we'll see what happens.
18.
18. Okay. Okay. For a moment, you feel a little bit embarrassed that this is your card. You've asked them to help you with the devil, and you think maybe we should think about the devils. And you feel a little bit embarrassed that you haven't been able to come up with anything helpful. But then you realize, you've done some good stuff in the past. You did some adventuring, and you feel better about that.
All right. Thanks for the input, Sean. Milk steak. Can you do better than smorgasbord?
Smorgasbord.
What do you know about devils?
I know everything about them. 14 plus
3.
3, yeah, 17.
That's pretty good. You would know that the Nine Hells are a fairly lawful place. It's just lawful evil. So they're sort of, evil in the sort of
The D&D way.
in the D&D sense. So that just means that it's just like a classification. But lawful in the sense that there's a strict hierarchy amongst all the different devils in the Nine Hells, and each level has a certain superiority over the one next to it or whatever. And devils can leave the Nine Hells, as you were describing the depths, and they can walk on the material plane if their superior tells them to, if they suddenly went rogue, if they are going to retrieve something for one of their bosses. It's kind of they can, but it depends if they have a reason to.
Right.
Okay.
Does that answer your question about whether they're in the depths or not?
Yeah.
He's probably been here for a while then. If that tar, which it might be, he showed up, right? Or she, I don't really know. And
She-devil.
Probably fucked up people here, right? Because the smashed door, the tar coming out, and the tar's
Maybe
been there for a couple of
someone
months.
was trying to slay the she-devil.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but if it doesn't belong here, it probably showed up and fucked things up. So that's okay.
Or maybe the devil surfaced to find the flame.
Oh, but
maybe it was given a task to find the flame. So
but isn't the devil the flame that we're catching?
Yes, you would know that the flame...
What's your card, sorry?
A star.
Star. Maybe the devil came up to try and find the
that's what you're
star.
trying to say.
That's what
I
I'm trying to say.
see. Yeah, you know what? That might not be. Yeah, so he's probably guarding it, so we get both at the same time, because they'll kind of wrap it up neatly.
Maybe.
I feel like we are theory crafting too much compared to our previous adventures.
I think you're misremembering, because we do this a lot.
I just feel like we should go
I just don't want
head
to run
on.
straight on. I feel like
getting our
You
shit
got
together.
portable ramps, man.
We've got portable ramps.
All right, so Milksteak
And an
leads the
orc.
way.
You got a half-orc with you now.
And
so
I'm
bit of
walking
rotation.
behind Milksteak.
Okay, you see the passage curve to the left, and you see it continue ahead of you, and there's a little side passage to the left, but the tar goes straight ahead.
How far does this side bit on the left? Like, is it?
It goes about 10 feet, and then it curves again that you can't see where it curves to, but the side passage goes for about 10 feet, then goes to the right out of sight.
Do we just follow the tar, or should we
I
do
have
like a side explore?
bad FOMO of like missing out on like
Video
nice
games.
cloaks.
Yeah. I feel like nice clothes and other useful items. Okay, should we?
Yeah, I think
see
we
what's
kind of
down on the
sidetrack.
left? Yeah.
Let's see if it's getting like way too deep,
Yeah,
then we
yeah,
can turn it
always
back.
turn back.
But if it's a nice loot just around the corner,
Yeah.
Or a clue
Yeah.
that we
Or
can
a star.
Or a star,
that we
yeah.
can discuss.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're going which direction?
the down on the left,
Okay.
the non-tar way.
You turn to the left, and you walk for about 20 more feet, you take a corner, and then the passage opens up to a slightly larger space. There's another passage leading at the end to the right, and directly in front of you, you see like a weakened, semi-broken piece of wall, like cave wall, that you can sort of see through to the next little chamber, but you can't actually seem to get through it because of all the rubble.
sounds like it's gonna be a little bit of a maze. Can my detect magic still see anything?
You're
Like
not getting,
sense?
other than the sort of residual reading from the tar, you're not
Yeah.
getting anything else.
Um,
Because it's 30 feet, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, it is.
Cool.
Detect magic.
so there was the.
There's rubble. Is the rubble?
been through
Can we
the
move the
rubble.
rubble?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, will it have like a proper cave in and shit? Yeah.
This is like proper.
You can make a nature check about the rubble. We'll do a rubble check.
A rubble check.
You're rubble, mate.
8 and 3, 11.
Okay, it's fairly straightforward. You look up above the rubble, and you notice that the cave ceiling is fairly intact. It's mostly just the wall itself that has been rubbleized. So you feel that a cave-in is not likely given that situation. Obviously, you're in an unfamiliar cave. Nothing is ever impossible, but it's more like damage was done to the wall than the ceiling.
Right. Shall we try and get through that? Because it feels like something might be on the
Yeah,
side. Might be
yeah,
some shit.
That's too tempting.
Yeah, I feel like I want to know what's there.
Okay, let's move the rubble.
Yeah,
Let's try to
we
move
start
the
working
rubble.
on moving the rubble.
Yeah.
Okay, make a perception check.
All of us?
Perception.
Natural 20.
Wow.
4.
18. And what's this one? Sorry, nature.
Yeah. Oh no, this is perception.
Oh, perception. 20.
I had 5.
5. Okay. Asker and Smorgasborden rush to the rubble, and you're stuck behind trying to like see through their legs. And you two notice straight away through the gaps in the rubble, in the chamber on the other side of the rubble, there's like a little mining cart, like a mining thing that used to go on those little tracks, and it's filled with like rock. And just beside that mining cart is this like emaciated sort of like creature that looks like it was once like a dwarf. It's about dwarf height, but like 10 times thinner and more sort of skeletal. And it's just sort of standing there, sort of swaying, not doing anything. And it smells bad, even through the rubble.
Oh.
Let's kill it.
You also notice with the natural 20, on the wall of this subsequent chamber, on your left, just in front of or just beside the mining cart, is like what appears to be the edge of a gold nugget, sort of sticking out of the wall, as if it was being in the process of being mined. And it sounds kind of like this.
Some ghoul.
I think we try and save it. We're kind. We're good people.
Are we?
No.
No.
I mean,
Not with nature.
you are kind of meant to be, though. I'm not. I'm a criminal and a spy.
Make a performance check.
That's a 15 plus. What's a performance?
It's just one of the skills.
Oh, there. 18.
18. You get the sense that, despite Asker being modest and saying, "Oh, I'm not a nice guy," you get the sense that he seems like a really nice guy.
Oh well, let's push the rubble. We haven't cleared it, right? We
No,
just see through it.
This is what you noticed as soon as you went up to start moving it.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't one of us keep an eye on that fucking thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the thing so you guys can roll it.
Yeah. That's
Yes, and then we push him in front when they're fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
who's doing what?
He's keeping an eye out, and we move the rubble.
We move.
Okay, you can both make athletics checks, please.
There's an 18 plus 0. So 18.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics 11.
Okay. You manage to clear most of the way. It's almost passable by creatures of your size. You chuck the rocks out of the way. It's not too difficult. You notice that the creature on the other side starts to like turn and like walk, shuffle towards the rubble that you're clearing.